Welcome back, everybody, to another practice activity lesson where we'll be exploring some different exercises and completing some activities around lessons learnt within this module. Of course, all about opinions, likes and dislikes. So really important that we get time to practice using new language and new skills, of course. So I hope that you really do give it your very best. And let's jump in. So let's take a look at our first activity. Write a definition for each idiom with example sentence. So I'm going to give you some idioms that I have taught you in the last few lessons. I'd like you to write a short definition, explain what it means, write a short definition of the idiom, and then also, if you can, try and write a really short example sentence of the idiom in use too, as if you were speaking it. So definition and example sentence for each. And these are the idioms that we are looking at. Not my cup of tea. Right up my street. I can't bear it. So they all have slightly different, quite different meanings. So if you can be as accurate in their meaning as you can, and also write an example sentence of it with use. So you have 2 minutes starting now. And your 2 minutes ends there. Okay, so let's take a look at the definitions. Not my cup of tea. You don't really enjoy this activity. Could also be for people too. He's not really my cup of tea. We've got different personalities. So it can be for a range of things, but it just means something that you don't really like, something that goes against your taste. Okay, next one, right up my street. Well, it's pretty much the opposite thing, really. An activity you very much enjoy. I love playing classical guitar. It's right up my street. It matches my interests. And finally, I can't bear it. So it's something you dislike, but it's used in a slightly different way. I can't bear it. It's often associated with patience or frustration. So if we're saying about waiting for something, oh, I can't bear the wait. That's a common use for this idiom. I can't bear it. It's like not having the patience for something or even someone. I can't bear her. She's so annoying, which is obviously a kind of rude thing to say. But yeah, I can't bear it. Something you dislike, normally associated with patience. Okay, so some really interesting idioms there. Definitely well used and commonly used amongst native speakers. So you should be using them too. Okay, on to activity 2. Write down a short sentence and practice using and speaking each of the idioms. So if you just want to grab a pen and some paper, just write down a really short example sentence of the idiom in use and just spend 2 minutes practicing using as many of these idioms as you can. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm crazy about. Not my cup of tea. Right up my street. I dig it. And last one, doesn't float my boat. So I want you to write a sentence, really short, 1 or 2 sentences max, nice and short, and just practice using them. So just have 2 minutes with these different idioms. And speaking, of course. So 2 minutes starts now. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the 2 minutes practicing with these idioms. Let me show you my own sentences. I love poetry. I'm crazy about it. I like it very much. I tried yoga before, but it's really not my cup of tea. That documentary was awesome. Right up my street. The new food stall at the shopping mall is great. I really dig it. And the last one, badminton doesn't really float my boat, to be honest. Not something I enjoy. Okay, so some idioms for likes and dislikes and your opinions. Okay, so let's move on to activity 3. Use the following 6 opinion openers to discuss this question. So I'm going to give you a question that you can share an opinion on. And I'd just like you to practice speaking and using these opinion openers just for the next 2 minutes. So here is our table of opinion openers. So these can begin your short sentences discussing this question. Should we pay tax to our governments? In my opinion, we should pay tax because. I feel that we shouldn't pay taxes because So try and use the because as well. Give a reason for your opinion, whether we should or we shouldn't. Okay, so I will give you 2 minutes just to have a go with these opinion openers, and we'll begin now. And your 2 minutes are up. So I hope that you enjoyed having a go with the opinion openers here. And really important that we are using these different expressions within our speaking, especially when we're trying to either persuade or inform other people. Okay, on to activity 4. Use the table of awesome adjectives to create and describe a range of objects, places, or people. So I'm just going to share a part of the table of awesome adjectives, and I want you to just make some short notes and then describe a range of objects, places, or people. You can choose what you want to describe. It can be absolutely anything, but I'd just like you to have a go at using this vocabulary. And we're just looking at the awesome adjectives of quality, from really poor to the best. So have a go at using these adjectives for any object, any place, any person that comes to mind. I'll share a few of my own examples after your 2 minutes, and we'll start now. Okay, your 2-minute time limit is finished, and here are a few of my own examples using these adjectives of quality. And we're looking at the extremes, so super poor and the best. Okay, first up, that newspaper is absolutely awful. I won't buy it ever again. It truly was a magnificent show. I would love to see it again. Sarah is an exceptional student who works very hard. Okay, just a few simple examples for you there using these adjectives for quality. And these adjectives, the 6 adjectives we have here, are really commonly used and definitely worth practicing with, and also including within our own language bank. Okay, activity 5, our final activity. Connect the expressions to their definitions. So here I'll give you a list of expressions, and then I'll also give some definitions in random order. And then you need to match by the explanation of each expression. So let's take a look at the expressions we're using. Pet hate, loathe, detest, it's sick, on second thoughts, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I will give you the definitions quickly and then just set you off, let you know when your time starts. And your time starts now. Okay, time is up, everybody, and let's take a look at the answers here. I'll talk us through each word expression, and their definition. So, pet hate. Something that you almost enjoy disliking. Strange, but we all often have a pet hate. Something that we really don't like. I hate Manchester United. It's a pet hate. I enjoy hating them. Loathe, detest. An object, activity, or person you dislike very much. It's really at the extremes of dislike. I loathe bad weather. I loathe British weather. Awful. Next up, it's sick. Very informal slang expression to say something is great. And it can be really anything. Objects, people, places. They can all be described as sick in a positive way. but super informal. Be careful of its use. On second thoughts, an opening expression when saying that you are considering something, and it's also a reflection. So reflective thinking, we're looking back on a decision and actually changing our mind. So we're saying, my first decision was wrong. On second thoughts, I will do this. And the last one, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. An exclamation of satisfaction on seeing something that you really like. So it's like, wow, that was awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a common exclamation when you see something that you really like. Okay, so that is the end of this practice activity lesson. I hope that you were able to really have a good practice throughout this video lesson, and I will see you in the next module.